What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know I always keep it real. Getting it right to it, man. So you seen the title of this episode. Ben Simmons and the Nets simply won't work. And yes, this is the fourth game of an 82 game regular season. But I just know the proof is in the pudding. We've seen the trajectory of Ben Simmons' career. We see what happens in the offseason. He's shooting jump shots. He looked great. He looked like the next LeBron James. And then come the regular season, he goes back to the mean. He's not scoring at the clip that he should be. He's not shooting at the clip he should be. I mean, one of these games, he shot a three-pointer. I feel like he shot that just to be like, hey, guys, I'm trying. Bro, you're not really trying, bro. You're not really trying. And talk about his averages. Like, what is Ben Simmons averaging right now? He's averaging 5 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. This is a considerable drop-off from him as a Sixer. Right? Now, you would think, okay, you have Ben Simmons, one of the best drivers of the basketball in the game, one of the best passers in the game. If he has a team of shooters with Kyrie, KD, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, the floor space is going to be open for him. He can operate, do what he got to do. So I thought that Ben Simmons would be a league leader or one of the league leaders in assists. Right? So the fact that he only is averaging 5 points, he should be averaging 15 assists. Like, how are you averaging only 5 points and you have the same amount of assists that you had in Philly? Like, how do you get worse as a player? And you're playing with the two of the top 5 best offensive weapons in the last decade. In Kyrie and KD, and you're somehow regressing and getting worse. So talk about a guy that's played with Joel Embiid, has played with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. These are some like the best players in NBA history. You're the problem. If this does not work, this is nobody's problem. This is nobody's fault in Brooklyn except Ben Simmons. Because if we're just being honest, if Ben Simmons had the Giannis mentality to where it was like, yo, I got that dog in me. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I'm not, wavered by criticism. I'm not thinking about what the naysayers guys say. I'm not thinking about what the haters guys say. I'm just playing my game. Got my head down, grinding. If he had that Giannis mentality, this Nets team would beat everybody, sweep everybody, be the number 1 seed, and it wouldn't even be a question. Give Giannis this team. What? And the reason why I compare Giannis to Ben Simmons is because physically, what does Giannis have that Ben Simmons doesn't have? If I'm wrong, let me know. But physically, not talking about mentally, not talking about how good they are, as players. I'm talking about physically. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Ben Simmons, aside from Giannis being maybe an inch or 2 taller, what is the difference between them physically? Not much, if anything, right? So because they basically have the same physical, characteristics, or they have the same physical traits, they both strong, they can both drive the basket well. The only difference between Giannis and Ben Simmons is the fact that Giannis worked on his game year in and year out to get him to this point. Ben Simmons got to the NBA and was complacent. And every single year was like, heck, I can average 16, 7 and 7, and I'll be straight. That's it. I don't need to really improve much as a player. But in Brooklyn now, it's even worse because now you're not playing like the same player. You're playing worse. And if you talk about a guy in Ben Simmons, okay, he doesn't shoot. All right, fine. what else do you do besides shooting that can help this team win? Does he pass the ball? Well, he's got 7 assists. Okay, that's good. I would still like to see more. Rebounds. He's not even averaging 6 rebounds, bro. Like, where are these rebounds coming from? How do you only have less than 6 rebounds? Okay, so the assists and the rebounds, they should be higher. And the points. How the heck do you have you are a career 15 point per game scorer. How the heck are you averaging 10 less points than your career average, and you're playing with 2 of the top 5 weapons of this past decade? Like, how is that possible, bro? How is that possible? You BSing. I don't get it. And it's for all y'all Brooklyn fans, all y'all Nets fans that talk crazy to Sixers fans, talk crazy to, Philly sports fans, saying that, Ben Simmons, y'all ain't deserve him. Y'all treated him bad. Y'all about to see, what this guy's made of. And we going to see if y'all going to still, support Ben Simmons, because us as Philly, we supported him for like the first 6 years, right? 6-7 years or whatever. It wasn't until it got absolutely terrible when the guy shot a worse free throw percentage than Shaq that we was like, all right, I give up. I'm going to end up, getting mad. And Philly fans got mad. So Brooklyn fans, it's going to be funny to see, how long y'all, are going to accept this level of play, because best believe he's not going to change the way he plays. So if you think that Ben Simmons is going to come into, Brooklyn averaging 15 plus points, averaging, 18 plus points, that's not going to happen. That's probably never going to happen ever in his career. People might say, he is coming off an injury. I'll give you that. Coming off an injury. But that doesn't, if you're on the court, bro, it's no excuses. If you're on the court, it's no excuses. And there's no reason that you haven't scored more than 10 points in a game. Like your game high, your season high this season is 7 points. 7 points, bro. Like, you damn near have as many points as you have fouls, because half of the 4 games that you played, you got fouled out. Like, what are you doing, bro? So you can't shoot. You aren't passing that much. You aren't rebounding as much. And the worst of it all, you can't defend. The Nets are the second worst defensive team in the league, only behind the Grizzlies. They have the second worst defensive rating in the NBA, bro. Ben Simmons, the guy that was a defensive player of the year candidate before he left Philly, now is the 24th worst defender in the NBA. And of those 24, guess who's also there? Kyrie and KD, right? So this team flat out sucks defensively. And unless this Nets team is going to put up 130 points, 120 points, they're going to lose, bro. They're going to lose. And so teams like the Bucks, the Celtics, well, we can talk about the Bucks since they played them last night. The Bucks are right here. Everybody in the East is right here. The Celtics might be like a little bit, behind them, not too much. But the Bucks is right here. The way Giannis is playing, and he's striking fear in these guys' eyes. I mean, I saw fear in Ben Simmons' eyes when Kyrie dished the ball to him, and he passed the ball back to KD, for the assist. But he ain't want no parts of Giannis in that paint. And Giannis will tell him, you too small, bro. You too small, bro. Like, Giannis will flat out tell you, like, you a scrub. You a scrub. You a scrub. And so, ultimately, one thing I'll say, which was pretty sad, Ben Simmons, he sees Giannis in the paint, and he don't want no parts of that. He don't want no parts of that, right? At all. So he turns around, dishes it off to KD. Now, KD did make the shot, and it was an assist. But what did Kyrie say right after he dished it off to Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons didn't shoot it? Shoot it, Ben. And look, after the game, Kyrie ends up saying, you know what, we just want to encourage Ben, give him positive affirmations. But best believe these guys are looking at Ben Simmons and it's like, who the heck did we trade for James Harden? And if I'm thinking about a guy in Daryl Morey, they fleeced Brooklyn. The fact that you traded Ben Simmons, a guy that already wasn't playing for us, Seth Curry, a guy who we built up, Andre Drummond, who was on a veteran minimum deal, and 2 picks for a guy in James Harden that's been balling. Now, yes, the Sixers have some struggles that they need to, work with, especially defensively. But aside from that, the Sixers won that trade. And the way that Ben Simmons is playing right now is showing why the Sixers won that trade. Because unless Ben Simmons is some threat offensively and is a lockdown defender, if he's not one of those 2 things or both of those things, then what is he doing for your team? Because he doesn't shoot. He's not defending. He isn't passing the way that you want him to pass or at the clip he should be passing the ball at. So what is he doing for you? Nothing. So again, Brooklyn fans, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We done told y'all talked all this trash to Philly fans saying that, you know what, Philly was toxic. You're going to see how Ben Simmons does in Brooklyn. And honestly, I was one of the people saying, if there's any place that it would work for Ben Simmons, it would be Brooklyn. Because you talk about a team that can play to his strengths and have him actually, not shoot, because it was a necessity for Ben Simmons to shoot in Philly. Like if he did not shoot, what other offense was they getting from what? Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey? That's it, right? So they needed him. In Brooklyn, Ben Simmons scoring is more of I would say a luxury, but it's only a luxury if he defends. If he's not defending, or if they're a terrible defensive team, he's going to have to shoot the ball. And if he is averaging less than 6 points per game, you're simply not going to win. So as currently constructed, this Nets team is going to be a 6th seed, a 6th, 7th, or 8th seed at best. And they're going to get bounced in the first round. And the number one person that's the culprit for this is Ben Simmons. And if he just worked on his game, this guy might have 2 rings by now. Because if he worked in his game in Philly, then he would have a ring with Jimmy Butler, or he would have a ring that season that Trae Young by himself whooped a butt, right? And this season, he can win the championship as long as a guy in, Ben Simmons dishes it off to his teammates. Like, bro, he should have 15 assists. How do you not have 15 assists? Not even 15. All right, maybe that's doing too much. At least 10 assists, and you playing with Kyrie and KD, Patty Mills, Seth Curry. You have every shooter available. Best believe Giannis will be averaging at least 12 assists by now. He'd be averaging 25 points, 12 assists, and probably 9 rebounds. So Ben Simmons, he ain't got that dog in him. I've been saying this for a year and a half straight. It's sad that, I'm saying the same thing I said back in the summer of 2021. But at the end of the day, we're going to see if he can turn it around. I don't see him doing it. But what do you think? Comment down below. Do you think that the Nets can turn this around? Do you have hope that Ben Simmons will, change his game, will be more confident, will, average more than 5 points a game? And let's not act like, his free throw percentage, he's at 33%. That's not, that's not good at all. Like, that's like very, very, that's like worse than Shaq, bro. That's worse than Shaq, bro. That's pretty bad. So I personally think Ben Simmons is a broken player, and him and the Nets simply won't work. This is Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.